Welcome to my tour of the Norwegian Epic, the most unique ship in the NCL fleet. I will show you around deck by deck, give my hints and tips on the best places to go and see some of the quite different and the controversial features the ship has to offer. I'm going to start this tour on deck 18, which is the first of the public decks. This is the very front of the ship and has 3 public and usually very quiet sun decks. It's an idyllic location to chill out and catch some rays away from the more lively pool areas. There are plenty of sun lounges, 2 showers, but unfortunately no bar, so don't forget to bring your drinks. On deck 17 and towards the aft of the ship is the very popular sports complex that features a full-size basketball and 5-a-side court. This area is very popular with teens and younger adults during sea days. And you can just see the tops of the climbing walls below the funnels. More on that to come shortly. And I thought that the graffiti style art was fantastic. And if required, there is elevator access up here. And then we move to deck 16 where we find the aqua park, which is one of the noisiest areas on board. There are 3 slides including the Epic Plunge, which is a 236-foot long bowl slide. And as you can imagine, this is a very popular area for kids. The sun deck that's on either side of the ship has plenty of lounges for you to use. It's an ideal spot, especially for families whose adults want to relax but keep an eye on their kids who are off having fun elsewhere. The Epic was launched in 2010 and has 1,912 cabins, with a capacity of 4,100 passengers and 1,724 crew. And when she was built, she was the 3rd largest cruise ship in the world. The Epic was to be the first of a new class of ship for Norwegian Cruise Line, to replace the popular but much smaller Gem class. However, due to the many issues at the shipyard in France where she was being built, the order for the subsequent ships was cancelled. Norwegian then started constructing its next vessel, which was the Breakaway and the start of another class of ship. The Epic sits right in between as an almost hybrid of the other 2. And it's actually the 2nd largest ship in terms of passenger capacity behind the Escape. And still on deck 16 at the aft of the ship is Spice H2O, which is spread over 2 levels with a grille here, and on the other side is the bar. This adult-only area is the perfect place to chill out as it's quieter than the main pool. Sports can be shown on the huge LED screen during the day, and this area becomes a nightclub in the evening and hosts a very popular glow party. And here there's more than enough sun lounges for everybody. There is a whirlpool on either side of the bottom of this terrace seating area. We're now on deck 15, which is the main pool deck. Moving forward past the rather oddly named marketplace, which has a few tables and chairs. Here is the video arcade, which has a great selection of games such as air hockey, grab machines, and quiz, shooting and racing games. You can either pay per play using your cabin keycard or purchase an arcade package, which allows you and or your kids to play all day for an additional charge. There is an elevator and stairs to the teen-only Entourage Club. But as I'm sadly not that young anymore, I can't go up there. And now I'm going to show you around this incredible pool deck. Firstly, there are lots of tables and chairs here where you can relax with a drink from Waves Pool Bar, which is on the right. Towels are available in the kiosk on the left. Just in front is a small stage that can be used for bands or a my sailing set up as a large screen for showing sport. And this is a great look at two of the three huge slides on board. There are two small pools inside a raised wet area, which is a magnet for those wishing to cool off during the heat of the afternoon, especially on sea days. And here are two of the whirlpools, which are usually very popular. And surrounding the pool area are plenty of sun loungers for you to use. And to the right here are a couple of showers. And just past there are the stairs up to the two larger slides. There's a rock climbing wall which is 64 foot wide and 37 foot high. And it was the first at sea when the ship was launched. Cutting between the two climbing walls is the Splash Golf and Kids Aqua Park. Both are ideal places for the younger ones to play in. And this is the perfectly sized and very cute kids slide. And heading back around the other side of the pool is another pair of showers and three more whirlpools. And just past there is another raised deck which has more sun lounges. You may have noticed some additional livery and screens which were added to the ship as it was themed for the Rugby World Cup. I'll leave a link here to the video of that whole experience so you can check that out later. It was a very different type of cruise. Something to be aware of is that the Waves Pool Bar can get very busy, but there are a few members of crew taking drinks orders if you didn't want to wait around. And before we head inside, I can't forget the great outdoors, which is Norwegian's pool deck quick service eatery. Offering classics such as burgers, hot dogs, fries, pizzas and salads, there's always something to suit every appetite. This is the entrance to the Garden Cafe, which is the main buffet. Now if you've watched it in my previous ship tours, you know that I can be very critical of buffets, but not here. The overall size, sheer choice of items, the smell and the constant refreshing was the highlight of the ship. I will leave a link here to my complimentary dining video that shows the buffet set up for breakfast and for lunch and dinner. There's also plenty of places to sit and the crew are regularly coming round to clear away those finished plates. Downstairs is the Cucina, the Italian specialty dining restaurant. The restaurant feels like a traditional Italian trattoria and serves pasta dishes and pizzas from across the country. And I did really like the whole exclusivity of having a separate and secluded location to dine. Elsewhere on Deck 14 is the Splash Academy Youth Centre, which was unfortunately closed when I was on board. What was open was the Mandara Spa and Salon. They're a private room for you to have a variety of health and beauty treatments, which are available at an additional cost, and a spa day pass is also available. And this is the hair salon, which offers a range of hair and beauty services. The Pulse Fitness Centre is one of the largest I've seen on a ship, with a vast array of gym equipment to use. The fitness centre is open between 6 AM in the morning and 11 PM at night. There are benches, weight machines, ellipticals and freestanding bikes with ocean views. Fitness classes are also available as an additional cost. On Deck 13 and at the very front of the ship is a bridge viewing room, which has all the plaques of the various ports the ship has docked at over the years. And my cabin was here too. It's the most popular type on board, and that's the standard balcony cabin. And I'll leave here a link to my full cabin tour video so you can check that out afterwards. And the one thing missing was having an actual bathroom, which is probably the most controversial thing about this ship and is why so many have a love-hate relationship with her. On deck 12 is the open area of the studio lounge, which is exclusively for those guests staying in single occupancy cabins, a feature actually created for the Epic. And on deck 11 is the communal lounge area for solo guests. Here there are drink making facilities, snacks available throughout the day, and a bar along with seating so the passengers can meet up with other solos. Deck 10 has the medical centre, and there are no public areas on decks 9 or 8. Deck 7 is where you will find restaurants, bars and shopping. At the very front of the ship is Bliss Ultra Lounge, which during the day can be used for family friendly activities, but at night it's where this venue comes to life. There are different styles of seating, including sofas to spread out on, and a dance floor where the white hot party takes place. The party starts in the early evening and goes on until the very small hours. Trade winds are where the shops are located and where you can purchase jewellery, fashion clothing and beauty products. Although do be aware that the shops aren't open when the ship is in port. You can also purchase watches, and this is where you can get your Norwegian branded merchandise. This is the Sky Vodka Ice Bar, which serves cocktails at 8 degrees below zero. There is an additional charge to visit here, but unfortunately it wasn't open when I was on board. Next to this is Shaker's Martini and Champagne Bar, which serves the best cocktails on the ship. And there's also a pianist that sometimes plays here in the evenings. This was one of my favourite places to relax, although I'll leave it up to you to decide which of these drinks was the lavender patch. Opposite is the Wasabi Sushi and Sake Bar, which has an a la carte menu and is open for dinner. Behind this is Teppanyaki, the Japanese specialty dining restaurant, which has a central cooking area for a group of diners. This can be very popular, so if you'd like to eat here, remember to book in advance. This is Malting's Beer and Whiskey Bar, which has some of the most comfortable seating. Here you can get cocktails, several whiskies including flights, and a fairly good selection of beers. However, I do wish that there were more craft ales and IPAs. There's usually a singer here in the evenings, which ensures a lively atmosphere. And this area felt like you were relaxing at a large countryside lodge. For those of you who smoke, tucked away in the corner is a humidor cigar lounge, where you can also purchase tobacco products. And heading towards the rear of the ship is the entrance to two of the most popular specialty dining restaurants aboard Norwegian ships, Moderno Churrascaria and Cagney Steakhouse. Cagney Steakhouse serves a delicious choice of steaks, along with seafood, chops and prime rib. If you enjoy steaks served in an upscale atmosphere, I highly recommend Cagney's. Moderno offers skewers of barbecued meats that are brought to your table, and you can choose which ones to try, along with a very large salad bar. The Norwegian Epic doesn't have a wraparound promenade. However, there's a jogging track on this side and a games deck on the other. This is the barber shop that offers haircuts and shaves. although the stars in these photos seem a little odd. Maybe they were popular back in 2010. I'm now walking down the stairs to deck 6, and this beautiful light fitting dominates the central area of the ship. The Epic Casino is absolutely massive, probably the largest I've seen on any ship. There are a huge choice of slot machines and table games such as blackjack and roulette. It really does seem to go on and on, which is perfect for those who wish to tempt the fates. The Cavern Club is named after the famous venue in Liverpool, England, which the Beatles made famous. And while on here you won't find John, Paul, George or Ringo playing, it's still a fantastic venue where a Fab Four cover band performs. They actually weren't available when I was on the ship, so I was entertained by the Let's Groove party band. Cascades Bar is actually one of the smallest, and it's a good place to grab a drink before dinner or while playing at the casino. The Manhattan Room is the first of 2 complimentary main dining restaurants. This is the more elegant of the 2, although they both serve the same menus. I've covered my experience here in my complimentary dining review video, which I'll leave a link to here. Heading back into the casino and to the Shanghai and Noodle Bar, which are complimentary dining options serving Pan-Asian dishes. And while both are open for dinner, if you'd like to eat at Shanghai, I highly recommend you make a reservation. And now heading back towards the middle of the ship past even more casino. And this is where the cashier is, where you can go and collect your winnings. Ocean's Neighbourhood Bar and Grill is a 24-hour pub and restaurant, and for me it's at the heart of the ship. If you're looking for somewhere with a lively atmosphere, well, this is the place. The food is the typical burgers, fries and wings, and the service is very good. And past the restaurant is a 2-lane bowling alley, for which if you like to play, there is an additional charge. And now I'm going to show Ocean's in all of its glory before heading down this corridor. And this area has a mini arcade along with some additional seating and 2 pool tables. And unlike the rest of Ocean's, this area was always just that little bit quieter. And towards the front of the ship is where the main entertainment hub is. Firstly is Headliners Comedy Club, a very popular venue with a range of entertainment from the obvious comedians to magicians, and also hosts the fantastic dueling piano show Howl at the Moon. This was such a fun way to spend an evening. The entertainment kiosk outside is where you can purchase your Deal or No Deal or bingo game cards before the shows. The Epic Theatre is where the ship's large-scale entertainment takes place, with shows like Burn the Floor and the Beatles, along with the Deal or No Deal game show. Although I do believe that Wheel of Fortune will be coming to this and most of the rest of the Norwegian fleet this year. The Spiegel tent is a small venue that had previously hosted the Cirque Dreams dinner show, but it wasn't in use when I was on board. This was actually the first time I'd seen an escalator on a cruise ship. Just another unique feature the Epic has compared to the rest of the NCL fleet. This leads down to Deck 5 and the Taste Restaurant, which is the second of the main complimentary dining rooms. This restaurant feels more contemporary than the Manhattan Room, and of course the food here was excellent. Overall, I thought the main dining room food on Norwegian was a cut above the rest. This is the Atrium Bar, which serves a great selection of drinks and tends to be popular during the evenings. Starbucks is a more recent addition to the ship and serve their signature coffee-based drinks. Please note that anything you purchase here isn't part of the usual drinks package, although you can buy one of their own, which is perfect for those who need their coffees. They also sell cakes, croissants and muffins. The main area of the atrium has a large 2-story screen that shows movies, informational films and sports. Guest services is here should you have any queries while you're on your cruise. And opposite is the shore excursion desk, where you can purchase tickets for your days out in port. If you're looking to find a specific location on the ship, there's plenty of signage to help you along your way. This area is being set up for those wishing to have professionally shot photographs, which you can purchase at Click Photo Gallery along with other camera equipment. Opposite is the Bistro, which is the French specialty dining restaurant. With stylish surroundings and a serene atmosphere, the food here was simply incredible. If I were to recommend one restaurant on the Epic for an out-of-this-world dining experience, it would be at Le Bistro. There are dining packages available to purchase, so check them out should you wish to eat at any of their specialty restaurants. There are several drinks packages available, and you can review them here to see which, if any, you would prefer. Obviously, my recommendation is the unlimited open bar. This is the card room, however it's really being used more of a store. Next door is the library, which also has the internet area. The library itself is a very quiet area, as you can imagine, somewhere nice to read and relax. The Collection Art Gallery was being used as a museum when I was there, but usually has artwork to browse before an auction. And that concludes my ship tour of the Norwegian Epic. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing.